Now, many of you will remember the incredibly talented Shirebrook singer-songwriter Cara Jane Spencer, who joined us here on BBC Radio Nottingham back in 2020 to talk about her debut album, which she recorded whilst living with severe ME. Now, tragically, Cara passed away in 2023, but now her family are ensuring her legacy and her mission live on with the release of a new posthumous album called In Limbo. And her dad, David Spencer, joins us now to talk about Cara's remarkable spirit and her music as well. David, thank you so much for joining us. So many people will remember hearing Cara on the radio when she joined us back in 2020. Can you start by telling us a little bit about Cara and the beautiful new album In Limbo?
Yeah, well, In Limbo will be difficult to listen to for some people, being honest, because it's actually talking about her struggles in the last few months of her life. So it's a fantastic piece of music, and we've had great feedback from lots of professional musicians that actually turned around and said that it's a cracking piece of tracks.
Why was it important for you to share this with the world?
We need to finish what Cara started. Cara wanted to raise 100k. She wanted to make a difference in the world, as she did anyway, but she wanted to make a major difference in the world and raise awareness for the ME community. So it's very important that we finish what she started.
And just to give a little context of this, because Cara was just incredible, the album took 3 years for her to record. She painstakingly sang line by line from her bed. And that just tells you everything about her incredible determination and spirit, doesn't it? As her dad, you must be so proud.
Extremely so. She was a wonderful woman. She was a great kid growing up, and she was a wonderful woman, a great person, to the point where everyone else mattered before her.
She just sounds brilliant. And her dream, you've mentioned it already, to raise £100,000 for the ME Association. Obviously, the money from this album going to it as well. What would achieving that goal in her memory mean to you and your family?
It'd be massive, because it's important, when you have a loved one that starts something and then they're not able to finish it. We've shared lots of stories on CaraJaneSings.com, so anybody can look at everything that we've put out there. We've made sure that we're totally open and transparent about everything, including the massive fundraising event that we're doing on the 20th of September, which is going to be Emily, her sister, performing her songs.
Wow!
So it's going to, and Emily actually recorded 2 songs as well just before Cara died. And Cara personally requested that they be recorded.
And that makes me want to cry, if I'm honest, David, when I think about, that sibling relationship, that sister relationship. I'm lucky enough to have a sister myself. So for Emily, performing at that event in September, I imagine is going to be full of emotion. What can people expect from that evening? Because I know it's an evening of celebration for you guys.
It is going to be a celebration, because we have to celebrate what we achieve in life, don't we? It's wonderful. I personally believe that Cara's in heaven now, because I'm a Christian, and I believe that. And with God's grace, what we want to do is really make it a real big celebration evening, full of happiness, but also reflection too.
Absolutely. And I remember hearing stories of chats with Dolly Parton. Obviously, we love to hear on BBC Radio Nottingham. For people, when they listen to this album, what do you hope they remember and celebrate most about your incredibly talented daughter, Cara Jane?
I think Cara was a very, very special young lady that cared about everybody else in front of herself, and she was full of love and compassion for others. And the album is a discussion with God about asking why didn't I die, Daddy? Because she came through a terrible illness for a space of it when she was told the night before that she was going to pass away. And she came through and then had to suffer even more and more. So there's lots of things in this album that's going to be difficult, but there's also a lot of healing in the album too, because Jenny, my wife, actually listened to one of Emily's songs and then realised that she wasn't on her own in the way she was feeling past Cara's death.
Well, I hope the event in September goes really well. Tell us where and when it's happening, David.
It's at the Speedwell Rooms in Staveley. All the information is on carajanesings.com, everything that you need, and you can always contact us via the website if you want to know more.
Amazing. Thank you so much for talking to us. And we know the dream is to raise that £100,000 for the ME Association, which is, what Cara Jane had. She recorded that album while she was living with severe ME. And to understand more about the illness, we're joined by Dr. Charles Shepherd from the ME Association. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. From a medical perspective, can you just explain what ME is and why it can be so devastating?
Yeah, morning, Emma, and morning, David, whom I know. Thanks for inviting me on. In very simple terms, we're talking about an illness which is extremely debilitating, and in many cases, like Cara, it becomes a long-term condition. It stands for myalgic encephalomyelitis, which is a bit of a mouthful, but in basic terms, it means an illness that involves the muscles, the brain, and the body's immune system. We think probably around about 400,000 people in the UK have ME, of which about 25%, and many doctors just do not realise this, 25% of people are severely affected. They're severely neglected because many of them have in actual fact lost touch with the health service and the services it should be providing. And at the very severe end, sadly, we have people like Cara who are totally housebound, bedbound. They may even have to be tube-fed. They require 24-hour care, as I know Cara did. Sadly, I never met Cara, but I've learnt an awful lot about what she did, and such a talented musician and such a tragic loss of life. So we're trying to raise not only awareness about this condition and get it diagnosed early and get good management to people who have it, but also fund research into its cause and treatment. Just very briefly on the symptoms, which I missed out. It's an illness rather like long COVID. It affects, generally speaking, fit young adults, 20s, 30s, 40s. They get an infection, they don't recover from it. They continue to feel unwell, flu-like, have really debilitating fatigue. It's not feeling tired all the time. And they have this other symptom called post-exertional malaise, where if they do too much within their limitations, then they pay for it after a delayed period. They have problems with their cognition, their mental functioning, memory, concentration, that sort of thing, problems with pulse and blood pressure, pain in joints, nerves, and muscles. It's a multi-system disease with a lot of different symptoms, and it's a really horrible disease to have, I'm afraid.
It is, you're right. And we were talking about this money that Cara's dream was to raise £100,000 for the ME Association. Now, the money raised by Cara's family is funding post-mortem research and the ME CFS Biobank. Why is this specific type of research so vital for making progress in understanding the illness?
Right. Well, these are two components of research that we call research infrastructure. They're, if you like, bricks and mortar research. So we're aiming, and this is a long-term aim, to actually set up a what we call a post-mortem research facility. I know it's a bit grim, but you can learn an awful lot about disease, obviously, from people who die from that disease, and then looking at their tissues, particularly in this case, the brain, nerves, muscles, spinal cord, and this sort of thing from post-mortem specimens. So to start this off, we started off at Adam Brooks Hospital in Cambridge with a post-mortem facility, but we've now got a new arrangement with the Manchester Brain Bank, which is part of the National Medical Research Council and Brain Bank Network, to do post-mortems on people with ME/CFS. And the other thing, as you mentioned, we do is that we fund what's called the ME Biobank at University College in London. It's based at the Royal Free Hospital in London, and there we collect blood samples from people with ME, including people with severe ME, because it's terribly important to include in research people at the severe end of the spectrum. So they're collected, they're stored there at the Royal Free Hospital in big frozen chambers, and then they are released to researchers who want to do lab-based research with anonymized clinical data on these samples to people all over the world. So this is quite a unique facility. It's the only one in the world, but it costs money. It costs us £80,000 a year to maintain this brain bank. And what is really frustrating, we've actually just came out last week a new delivery plan for MECFS from the Department of Health and Social Care, which is trying to encourage research and fund research. But it's not fair that all this research, not only lab-based research, but infrastructure research, has to be funded from the charity sector.
So it sounds like this money raised by Cara's family is going to make a massive impact to the charity. Dr. Charles Shepherd from the ME Association and David Spencer, Cara's incredible dad, talking to us today about Cara Jane Spencer, who joined us on the radio back in 2020 to talk about her debut album. There's now a posthumous album coming out called In Limbo. Thank you so much both for your time today. This is BBC Radio Nottingham with Fleetwood Mac and Little Lies.